Hello everybody, my name's Sally. I'm a Climate and Education Manager at Gower Street. Gower Street is a small UK-based family foundation. That means we are a registered charity and we exist to give out support and funding to organisations and individuals who are tackling climate change in the UK and Ghana and supporting education work in Ghana. We have a long history, about 15 years of supporting education work in Ghana. And about 2 years ago, we also began to focus on climate change and supporting the work which crosses over between climate change and education. As a UK foundation, we're often asked why Ghana? Why is that a focus for our support? And the answer is really what it comes down to is that we have ties of solidarity and friendship with Ghana as individuals who've spent lots of time in the country and working with people and NGOs on the ground. So that's where it stems from. Having said that, we're very aware that as a UK foundation with British staff, we are not necessarily the people who are best equipped for deciding who should be supported in country to tackle climate change and improve education. So for that reason, we work as much as we can through local partners. We have a Ghanaian education expert on our board, and we are recruiting a Ghanaian climate expert. We also have a steering committee in Ghana of really experienced people working in the climate sector who actually make the decisions on who gets funded in country. So that's kind of briefly who we are. And today I've been asked to talk about the hopes, experiences and challenges of supporting work in climate change and education in Ghana. I'm going to switch the order slightly because I would rather end on hopes than challenges. So I'll start by just outlining Gower Street's experience to date. So as I said, we've been supporting education work for about 15 years now, and we've been supporting climate change work for the last couple of years, and it's becoming an increasing focus of the foundation. So we already have 3 more substantive partnerships with climate change NGOs, and which are lasting over 3 to 5 years. And in 2022, we did our first round of seed funding where we've given small grants to 15 organisations around the country working on climate change in different ways. And right now we're reviewing those grants, and we will be taking forward some of them to consider for those larger, longer term partnerships. Wherever possible, we try and give multi-year unrestricted funding so that organisations can do what they do best on the ground and not have to spend as much time on fundraising. So that very briefly is our experience to date. I should say that the type of work we're supporting, our overall strategy is to support work which is driving the green transition away from dependence on fossil fuels through to kind of more sustainable, more socially just development based on use of renewables. So that's the overall strategy. And within that, we also support natural climate solutions and good management of natural resources for more sustainable living. The challenges of our work, I think that the biggest and most obvious one is that there is so much good work going on the ground, so many fantastic people and efforts to really tackle this issue, which is already affecting life day to day. We cannot hope to support all of those efforts with our small budgets, and we are working to try and find more funding partners in Ghana, but unfortunately there's not a huge number. So we're never going to be able to meet the needs alone, and that is the biggest challenge that we face. The other challenge is trying to get the decision making right. So I've already talked about our trustees and steering committee, but it's just trying to make sure that the work comes from the grassroots, and the decision making of what to support and how to support is driven from there rather than driven by us. And that's going to be a process of ongoing learning. We've already tweaked our process, and we are bound to continue to do that as time goes on. So that's two selected challenges, really from the perspective of a grant maker trying to work in this space. To end on the hope, well, I think I first need to explain that Gower Street is a spend-out trust. So all of our funds will have been exhausted and we will close by 2030. So we think about the future all the time, and we think about what the world will look like after 2030 and what difference we want to try and make between now and then to shaping that future world. And we are not overly focused on measurable outputs that can be achieved between now and then that we can stamp our name on and see have happened. But we would love to make a contribution towards building a really robust, empowered civil society in Ghana of people living more sustainably in a more informed way about climate change, feeling they have more agency to affect the community and the policy environment that they live in, so that this issue, which is already impacting, can be tackled and can be mitigated and ultimately overcome. So that's our hope. We are just trying to plant seeds over the next few years that we hope will bear fruit for future generations. I think that covers Gower Street for now. Really hope that you're all enjoying the event and having some very fruitful conversations. I'm sure great learning will come from it, and we look forward to hearing about that. So thank you very much.